My friend Luke Sullivan, creative director at GSD&M from Austin, gave me this a bunch of years ago when I was a little baby tiny creative. And he said, Sean, I want you to have this slide. And I said, Luke, why? And he says, because this is the worst slide I've ever seen. This is the worst poster I've ever seen. And I said, yeah, it's horrible. I mean, there's too many things on it. There's copy all over the place. You can't tell what the hell's going on. And Luke said, no, look at it. Look at it. He says, what if you're schizophrenic? You're saying to yourself, you call this number and I'll call that number? That's... So traveling from San Francisco to the great city of Austin, I'm here to basically say, don't do that. Thank you. Right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
Concludes our presentation for today.
Hey, you! What the f*** is this?
The f*** is what?
This! This!
Advertising, I guess.
Advertising what?
Something obscure?
I could arrest you right now if I wanted to.
For what?
For emptying out your bucket there. That's against the being bad, against the environment laws.
Well, before you do that, Officer Dixon, how about you go have yourself a look at that first billboard over there? And then we can have ourselves a conversation about the motherfucking environment. How about that?
Me.
How many of us have seen that movie? Yeah. What a great film. And I love the fact that we as an industry have, grabbed that, taken it, and run with it. I wish, as a creative guy, the copy had been maybe a little bit more of a readable sort of thing. And it is what it is. If we're going to celebrate a movie called Three Billboards and it's going to win, multiple movie awards, we'll take it. And I think we did take it. We took it and we ran with it. We played with it ourselves, celebrated ourselves, and then it took on a life of its own. This was Paul Ryan's area, and it became, almost viral, really. And what it got me thinking was, especially in this politically charged time, and I'm not going to be political, I'm just talking about that stuff. It just really got me thinking about signs and how they're really everywhere, and everybody can have one, and everybody can make one, and they're just, sort of another expression of how we try to get our ideas out there, whether pro or con. And seen some great work recently from the general public. Now you know it's bad. And there are very fine signs on both sides, right? But I do have to give it to the resistance for being more clever with a sense of humor and a little bit funny. And realizing where I am in the great state of Texas, I don't want to get on the wrong side of anybody, so I found this one I thought I would share with you as well. Got to know your audience. But yeah, again, the political poster, that conversation with the general public has been going on since the dawn of our business, since the cave paintings on the walls of Lascaux, France, and all the way up through James Montgomery Flagg's work for I Want You to Join. Impeachment poster. I mean, I was surprised to find this, but it really got me thinking about it. And I discovered this group called the Mad Dog Pack. It's run by a former Clinton advisor, and he was basically pissed off at what's going on, and he developed this Twitter campaign, essentially, that said, hey, I'm going to put up a billboard and say stuff on it. And he did. And people started following him, and people started following him, and much more people started following him. And now he's got 6,000 to 7,000 people who donate from $5 to $250 and up because they want to have a voice on a billboard. And they've done about 50 of these so far, and they have no plans to stop. Now this is just the general public. This is just everyday folks that know, that are realizing, that are appreciating the effectiveness of what we freaking know all along, that this is one of the best deals in all of advertising. You can be clever, you can be smart with it, and you can make change happen. This is their flagship board. This went up outside of Mar-a-Lago a couple of months ago. It's on the way from the president's landing spot to Mar-a-Lago. The president of the United States has to see it every time he drives by, and everybody else is seeing it as well. And I don't know that this is true, but God damn, I hope it is. I was told that the Secret Service often takes a different route to go away from the billboard so that the president doesn't have to see this on his way to go golfing. Think about that. A billboard, a static sign, has altered the path of the most powerful man in the world. A frickin' sign. This is the power of what we do. This is what we can be. This is what we should be. This is who we are. I don't know who that dog is, but I want to party with that mutt. That's a party animal right there. And again, being a Raiders fan, I always have to take a jab at the Patriots. Don't know if anybody saw that, but there you go there. And again, here in Texas, has anybody been out to Marfa? That's there. It really exists. It's a Prada installation on the side of the highway. You drive out to the middle of nowhere and then take a left, and it's there. And it's just, again, part of the urban gallery, part of that crazy stuff that we do, that we can put on the street, that makes people think, that makes people wonder, that makes people say, why? What? Huh? But there it is. So, when I say still sexy, besides the fact that that guy over there, my twin brother, is awfully sexy as well. Yeah, there he is. See, if he was bald, we'd look exactly alike. Yeah. But what I want to really share with you guys is the fact that I think we've got the best business in the world. We've got the best business in all of advertising. We've got the best value in all of advertising. I wish we would fight for it a little bit more. And I think that with everything going on with new technology, all that stuff is fantastic. But I want to remember that our core, the majority of what we do, that billboard on the side of the highway, is our bread and butter. And when we treat that right, that shit is still sexy, right? And I saw this, talking about signs, walking in to do the presentation here this afternoon. And I don't often see Still Sexy and Sean Robertson on the same card, so thought I'd better capture that while I could. But when it's done right, when it's done cleanly, when it's done simply, you cannot beat it. Somebody was saying again earlier in one of the presentations that, you know, you start with the billboard, you make it work as a poster, then you've got the basis to do anything you want to do after that, right? You make this work. No logo, no words, but it's all there, and it makes you think, and it makes you perhaps thirsty. It makes you want Pepsi, but it makes you work. Recently from McDonald's in Canada, just simple, brilliant. This is the kind of stuff you say, why didn't I think of that, right? Directionals right there in the logo. The logo is right there without showing the logo. Everything you need to know is right there, and it gives you directions. Just brilliant. This is another one from France. There you go. Just a simple sign, but saying everything it needs to say. Quick, don't think of an elephant. That's what our medium does. It catches you off guard. It makes you think even though maybe you don't want to, but it gets in there, it gets into your psyche, it gets into your subconscious, and it makes you work. And since I made you work, I'll make it a little bit easier on you, and there's an elephant. Pretty good design there, too. I saw this, I was taking my son on campus tours, and we were at Cal Poly, and there was a kid wearing the shirt that had that on it. And again, my eyes always going to signs in some way, shape, or form. I said, that's a sign. And when you put it all together, it's really a t-shirt, but it's brilliant. It's simple, it's clean, it's what we do. It's just a couple of words. And it says so much. Entire history lesson here. That's what we can do. And we do it pretty well sometimes. I mean, you can't talk about great out-of-home creative the past couple of years without referencing iPhone stuff, Apple stuff. But what gets me about, oh, by the way, Doug S., he's a dentist here in Dallas, or in Dallas, actually. I found that out. I don't know how I found that out, but I found that out. Oh, and that reminds me, the 3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri were actually built in North Carolina by Allison Outdoor, I think it was. They found a field, they put the 3 billboards up, and when they were not shooting, they would cover them up so no one really knew what was going on. But, and this is the hard part, at the end of the shoot, a PA literally cut them down into pieces, stacked them on a truck, and drove them to his house in Tennessee to build a roof over his mobile home. So there's a little bit of information not a lot of people know, and that just pisses me off. But back to Apple. What I love about these guys, and I miss Steve Jobs, and I'm sure many of you do as well, this is arguably the most advanced technology company in the history of the world. And what do? Consistently over and over and over again? They buy static outdoor. They do lots of other things, but this is always part of their buy. If Apple is doing this, that's all I'm going to say about that. The old teaser reveal, classic stuff. If you got a situation like that, you've got an iconic location, play with it, use it, make it work. It can tell a story. It should tell a story. And it should create a puzzle. It should make you work to solve it. I think I'll buy an O. I don't know. It's too clever for me. And who says static out of home cannot be interactive, right? Work it, think about it, look at it from a different perspective, and have some fun with it. This, you guys can see the TV commercial in your head. You can hear the jingle. This is the longest running continuous ad in American television history. It's still going. I think it's on to 30 years or something like that. And this past year, they wanted to do something that would, replicate the TV spot, which was kind of cool because there's the TV spot. The whole thing is right there, right? And it's almost one of those things where you can say, hey, this is where it started. and then that became the TV spot. But you've got out of home, simple, oh, that's my computer, I got an email. Hal, get off the email, right? I'm trying to do a presentation over here. I don't know where this is, but that is just awesome. That's just amazing. So again, you know, look around if you can. If you have the opportunity to see what's around it, to see what's there, to see what could be there, to see what could be advanced from what is there, take advantage of it. Take a shot, right? This we did recently for our client Tampico. Where's Frank? Yeah, there he is. Thanks a lot, Frank. We put the different colored liquids inside of this flexible skin so that there would be motion as the truck drove and you would see the liquid going. But the problem was we couldn't nail the exact color of the different flavors. So somebody brilliant said, hey, why don't we just use the goddamn juice? And that's what we got in there. So it's the real stuff. I think it was Rudy's idea to park this in a freezer somewhere and break out some Tito's vodka, and then when it was all said and done. This was ad down in, I think it's either New Zealand or Australia. I just thought it was brilliant because it's already there, right? Just taking a little piece, moving it around a little bit, and you've got something completely new. And for Denver Water, who has done great work the past 10, 15 years. You know, we always say 7 words or less. Don't do anything more than that. But if you provide extra time by installing the commode, you've got plenty of time to read it all. BART station in San Francisco, just, I mean, using every surface, making it deep, making it juicy, making it amazing. Unbelievable. Oh no, there's Grandma. Oh, there she goes. Poor thing. Even when it's standing still, it's got motion, installing 3-dimensional things around the car to make it look like it's moving, even though it's not. Realizing, again, your target audience for a pest control company, and you've got it down there on the eye level for the poor little guys that seem to have gone missing. I got 5 minutes left, so I'm not going to get into the rant, but I'll just go into to say that, hey, we're doing great stuff. Medium is growing, new technology, it's awesome. But when we do it right, this is how we've done it, this is what it is, this is who we are, whether it's Don Draper in the 60s or this running last year, what used to work still works and will work tomorrow. And damn it, Adweek had a stat that in 2017, 50% of the top advertisers had out of home in the buy. 50%. It's like half or something. So, okay, end is near. I'm going. This is my son getting hit in the head with a baseball. Just because. So again, know your surroundings. I worked with BBDO San Francisco on this. They wanted to do the flagpole banners, but the sign code wouldn't allow the pole to be wrapped. So we brought the boards in to see then Mayor Gavin Newsom, now Lieutenant Governor of the great state of California, running for Governor Gavin Newsom, showed him the boards, what we wanted to do, and he said, damn, that's good. And he changed the sign code, and we put that up because the creative was good, and we fought for it. We believed in it, and we fought for it. Interact. I'm sure some of you guys have seen this before. If you can build something that is unbelievable, I'm going to let this run. I don't care what you say, Brian. This has got to run. 2 minutes left. long way to go to drop a piece of vinyl, but that's just, again, you know, taking everything out, pulling all the stops, having fun with it, and going crazy. All right, let me see if I can wrap this up here. This is just overwhelming, and again, this is an example of what we can do when we do it right. When we got a budget like Microsoft money, sure, we can do this.
Bing, Microsoft's search engine, came to us to drive trial of Bing Search and Maps and increase their relevance with a young audience. At the same time, we knew that Jay-Z would soon be launching his autobiography, Decoded. With one big idea, we harnessed this epic moment in pop culture, connected our client to a new demographic, and gave millions a reason to use Bing. We started by putting every page of Jay-Z's book out in the world, every day for a month prior to the book's release. But the pages weren't just randomly placed. Every page's location was inspired by the story on each page, putting Jay-Z's entire biography in context. Fans could actually walk through Jay-Z's life right where it happened, finding pages in 13 major cities in the US and abroad, searching for everything from huge iconic billboards to unique collectible items. And if the media didn't exist near Jay-Z's life landmarks, we created it, taking the campaign to places money just can't buy. Gucci made custom jackets stitched with a page. A Cadillac wrapped with pages paid homage to the birthplace of New York hip-hop. A page about Big Pimpin' covered the bottom of the Delano pool. Even a bronze plaque was installed in the Marcy Projects, where Jay-Z spent his childhood. We let the story on each page determine each location. The unique pages covered hundreds of thousands of square miles. And as they were unveiled around the world, Bing tied every element of the campaign together with an integrated online game that directed fans to each page on the streets. Clues to the page locations were released daily through Facebook, Twitter, and radio. And every day for a month, millions of people gathered to solve the latest clues, guiding them to the exact street locations on Bing Search and Maps, documenting and claiming the pages they found. The unique framework allowed anyone, anywhere to walk the same streets and find a page. And over the course of the month-long campaign, they chased fame of their own as they assembled the book digitally at bing.com/Jay-Z before the hardcover hit stores. Every single piece of the campaign was woven together with Bing technology to allow fans to experience his story. Average player engagement on our website was over 11 minutes. Jay-Z's Facebook followers grew by 1 million. And Decoded hit the bestsellers list for 19 straight weeks. Decode Jay-Z's success was covered by every major news outlet, every major cultural influencer. Even other celebrities weighed in. Bing became part of the pop culture conversation. And in only 1 month, Bing saw an 11.7% increase in visits, entering the global top 10 most visited sites for the first time, and earning 1.1 billion media impressions.
Sorry, Alex. Alex has had to watch that for probably 57,000 times, and I appreciate your patience. Okay, and be sexy. One more, I promise. One more. You want to see some sexy? Yeah. I think we can take these guys if they revolt against us, so let's do one more.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
Everything just lined up right.
On Friday and Saturday nights, the moon will appear as a slice of lime in the top of a bottle of Corona beer. The beer makers have named the stunt appropriately Luna Corona.
That's not sexy, right? That's just, how it can be done. Tommy, can you get this trimmed, please? Somebody out there? All right. I just had to do that. I started off with the worst billboard of all time. This is still my favorite of all time. This is a male enhancement clinic in Berlin, Germany. And we have us a satisfied customer. I'm going to get fired. Guys, I've been doing this for way too damn long, and I need your help. I need you to believe in me. I need you to believe me. I need you to believe in us and what we do, because this stuff is sexy when we do it right. And I want us to do it more, and I want us to fight for it more, and I want us to believe in it more, because when it's done right, it is pretty damn sexy. Thank you, guys.
So now we'll be able to open up for questions. Does anybody have a question or a takeaway they'd like to share with us? Is there anything, do you have any favorites? Did it bring anything to mind?
You want to buy a drink? That's perfectly fine, too.
So, Sean, I mean, obviously, probably one of the biggest threats to creative could be us as salespeople, in the fact that a lot of times clients want to do things that really aren't as creative as they should be, but we're so excited about getting the contract that we even find ourselves complimenting them on bad creative. What would your advice be?
Well, that's a brilliant question, Tommy. And I'm not just saying that because it's a brilliant question. I agree. And I'm not, with my CEO and my CFO sitting in the audience over there, are going to say that, oh, well, screw that. Creative must rule. Let's be practical. Let's be honest about it. And also, let's educate our salespeople. I've found that some of the most successful campaigns have happened because the AE fought for it or worked with the creative team to say, hey, I understand, Mr. Client. We're going to put it up there with a starburst and a phone number and an address and maybe another phone number. But a clever AE with a dedicated creative working together could say, hey, let's run 10% of the inventory with that, and let's run 90% of the inventory with that, and let's do 10% with the good stuff. Production's going to be the same, install's going to be the same, no one's going to get hurt. But now you've got a chance for the client to see it essentially in real time, and maybe you convince them that way.
Got one more?
Yeah, I'm Eddie Carolyn from Soft Science 3D. We just had a report from the field where the AE did. The AE had the same billboard, same location for multiple years, 3 years, came to a vinyl change, and the AE fought, and he fought hard, and the client was upset, didn't want to change, and we put a 3D light bulb up. Fast forward a year, that was 2 weeks ago, and we have this testimony, so come and see me and I'll send it to you. We got it on video. He apologized. He said, I thought these guys were 150% wrong. And remember, this is just a light bulb store. Same billboard, same creative, had it for 3 years. We changed it. He doubled his store sales. It works. It's worth fighting for.
It's worth fighting for, and that's a brilliant observation, and I could not agree with you more. Oftentimes our inventory is used in such a way where in San Francisco on the Skyway, it's called the Old Navy board because it's always been Old Navy, probably always will be Old Navy, but they keep the creative fresh, right? So it is always there, it is always that, but they're always changing it to something new, or there's something new thing going on. So you know where you're going, you get off the off-ramp near the Old Navy board, but you don't always know what it's going to be.